but effective.
Welcome to another edition of Boring but Effective. We have the fabulous Paul Winbanks joining us today. He's a champion of equality and inclusion, and he is also better known as Paul the Spirit Messenger. Paul, welcome.
Thank you, David. Thanks for having me on the show. I love your shows.
Thank you. No, it's great to have you on. And it's a pretty obvious first question, to be honest. How do you use your gift of being able to connect with the spirit world?
Look, to be really honest, there's two sections, two types of connections I make. One's psychic, which is just connecting to a person's being. And the other part is to people who've passed. And I grew up from the age of 4 doing this. I don't do the woo-woo. I use a lot of my teaching background, a lot of the organisational change management, the IT training. I use analogies. I get these messages that have to be based on evidence. And the other part too is I've done over 3 years of ethics and standards with 3 international mediums so that people don't leave scared. I think the hardest part is when you've got to deliver some really difficult messages or beautiful messages. They're my fun ones. I like the fun ones. But sometimes when messages come through, you've got to find a beautiful way to deliver it. As I openly say, I'm neurodiverse, so I usually jump straight to the answer at the end of the story. So I've spent 3 years working that you have to get people prepared for some hard messages. And the other part too is when you're trying to connect with someone that has passed, you've got to be prepared for it. So
it's not just people either. You put people in contact with their pets as well, don't you?
Pets, spot-ons. I brought through horses. I brought through chickens. I brought through dogs and cats, and a rabbit. Again, it's all about the evidence. I talk about a funny behavior that they have, that the particular cat used to be able to jump up and I can see it sort of unlatching the door and they open the door and then they usually have a funny scream that sounds like hello. And they go, oh my God, that's my cat. And I say,
that's amazing. I've got a few mates that wouldn't mind you talking to the living, actually. And you mentioned horses. Yes. There's some going to be running around at Flemington. Is there any of them talking to you about what's going to run the fastest? I'm just joking.
I like that. This is funniest part. People ask that question and the lotto question. And I said, listen, if I could give you the numbers, and there's no energy in numbers, that's the best way to describe it. If I could give him, I have a dead wife on the other side, a beautiful, lovely wife, I'd be getting her to give me the Tetslotto numbers and I'd be running a lot of businesses with a lot of properties. Thank you.
Anyone out there who's thinking of, you've got an inkling or you need a hand with connection to the other side and the spirit world, Paul's your man. Yeah. What's your favourite meal?
Well, my favourite meal would have to be a slow roasted Ottolenghi Middle Eastern lamb that I like to cook, smelling it the whole time. It's like spirits. They'll give me messages where I can smell things. I will actually bring up in a reading, I can see lamb roast on a Sunday. I can see couscous, whatever. With carrots, you can see how the detail, this is the sort of detail I get. Slow roasted carrots with cumin and honey and peas with mint sauce, finished with dessert, which is a sticky toffee pudding with beautiful clotted cream on the top. That's my favourite meal.
Now, you're probably a bit different when I ask this question because you've actually got contact with people that have predeceased us. But if you could nominate one person, living or now in the spirit world, to come and have the lamb with you and the magnificent dessert, who would you nominate?
Well, my first thought, and it's not the right person, would be Princess Diana. So for me, she's very empathetic, someone that helps me with queer people. So I do a lot of readings for queer people that struggle in life around the world. I have a lot of my followers and no judgment with all of her work in that space. And occasionally, and I can't prove it yet, I get a message, she guides me, which is great. But obviously, I'm going to cheat on this question. It has to be my wife.
Yeah.
My last, you knew, I wouldn't care about anyone else in the world. If I could have another meal with my wife, it would be her.
Hey, thanks so much, Paul.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No, great
And
chatting to you.
just
And
before I go, I'll tell
yeah,
you the funniest thing in your space
yeah.
is that quite often when I do my psychic readings, I will quite often tell people and about, you haven't got your superannuation up to date. And they go, oh my God, your will's not in place. And people freak out and they go, how could you possibly know that's what my wife and I were talking about? So I've been dying to tell you that since the start, especially in your space. I love
Paul's stuff here, all his contacts, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram,
Instagram, well done, and my
uh,
website.
LinkedIn. You're
Yep,
everywhere. Good stuff.
yep.
And if you need to get in touch with me, here's my info. So once again, Paul, the Spirit Messenger, thank you so much. It's been great to chat
Thanks
with
for
you.
having me, David. Have a good one.
You too, mate. Cheers.
Boring but effective.